Show me this.
No, block sound, no, block sound.
It's okay, no. I was going to tell you.
What you?
Àwọn ti ṣàgbàgbà ìgbàlá ní irú lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ojú ayédèṣí wẹ́wù wọn kì í ṣe. Aṣọ ya, but I want that too. Aṣọ tí wọ́n pàtàkì rẹ̀ á. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó dọ̀ pé kí ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ìbílẹ̀ apá. Ìrọ̀lẹ́ náà ló sọ. Jọ̀wọ́ Lagos. Àti bí jọ̀wọ́ Lagos. Go! Igana!
Do you know what's hiding in your business's data? Companies of all sizes use BigQuery to uncover
I promise. Go. I'm really clear. If you don't want to do, you are stuck with me. That's it.
Mike? Interesting. Can I have the mics on, please? Thank you. All right, can we applaud that fantastic one there? That film titled Ifunanya. Don't get too excited because we have more films that will be screened today. That's just one of the 4 entries that made it to our screen this beautiful Friday. And trust me, the eventual winner that's going to emerge lies in your hands. Once it's time, we'll let you into all of the modalities in voting. We're going to vote today, and of course, the winners will emerge right here in this hall before we go. Unlike Ifunanya, we're stuck together in the next few hours. So again, I want to welcome all our invited guests, our jurors, our panelists, our awardees, mentors and mentees to the 2024 Emerge Conference, the grand finale. Like I said in my introduction, it's been a week-long event where we had symposiums, loads and loads of insightful discussions and trainings online, and we're glad to be part. If you're excited to be part of the grand finale, please give yourselves a round of applause. And when we started, the hall wasn't this filled up, so it is high time. Maybe we'll do that now officially to wish us all a happy International Women's Day. So please look at a woman beside you and say something beautiful. Genuine compliment. High five to all the women in the house. Yes, I love. You're not, I mean, the few gentlemen that are here, it's a privilege for you to be here. So say something nice to the Amazon seated close to you. Thank you very much. At this point, I will be inviting to the podium a woman I love so much and has been, inspiring even from afar. She is a development executive, screenwriter, producer, and author, founder of Image Story Company, a media and entertainment startup specializing in film and television story development and talent training in screenwriting. Her working experience cuts across several subsectors of the media, entertainment, and advertising industries. She has co-written feature films like Cold Willow with Femi Odugbemi as executive producer, Paternity Deal and Dead Right, both TV movies premiered on African Magic Showcase. She is a published author with her debut novel, Catching Grace, released through Westbow Press, a division of Thomas Nelson and Zodovan in 2019. She is a realness-trained development executive and was a mentor and story editor in the first ever Lagos Film Lab, an initiative by the British Council, Creative England, and Biola Alabi Media. She is also a writer in Tinsel, the longest-running TV series on African Magic, amidst other upcoming projects. Okedare refers to herself as both a guardian of narratives and a creator of dreams. And as a story consultant and writer co-producer, her journey is dedicated to a singular vision, discovering and championing emerging storytellers. She enjoys reading, mentoring girls and young women and doing her best to make the world equitable and a better place for all. She often writes under the pen name Lydia Emmanuel, distinguished Amazons, and the few gentlemen in the house. Please join me to make welcome for her welcome address, the convener of the Emerge Story Conference, Ololade Okedare. Please appreciate her. Make some noise. You can call her Rose.
Can you imagine? Let me see if this is much better for a wider view. How are you? Blessed morning. I'm doing great. I'm excited, elated, giddy. It's such a great privilege to be doing this. This started as a passion a few years ago when we started the Emerge Story Conference. I'm trying not to be emotional. This started 2021. It's been a vision. So, 2 or 3 years now in the making. When I realized after my Netflix Realness Episodic Club that we needed to have more opportunities to bring writers together, especially writers not just in Nigeria, but all over Africa. And coming back to Nigeria to try to put that together seemed like an Herculean task, because usually you would have corporations and all of that come together to do something like this. But we started it virtually. If you've ever been part of our virtual masterclasses in previous years, can I see your hands? You've attended any of, I see you. Yes, 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023.
And last year, when we saw her last night, as she was doing this very details again, she said on the last day, when the virtual masterclass last year was said, it would be great to have a physical event this year, bringing and converging stories, talents, and opportunities. And here we have this morning, and I'm so happy that this vision is coming to pass.
What exactly are we trying to communicate? It's an advocacy. And I'm coming to say thank you to all the special people here. I'm going to do that. But here is an advocacy for writers. It's a passion that has been laid upon me. I would not say a burden. A passion, that has welled up in my spirit for writers in Africa, writers in Nigeria. Seeing how that we pour so much of our soul into our work, but we are hardly recognized for it. And I'm not saying that we don't get our flowers here and there, but there's so much more that can be done for us. And if we wait for those tables to be created, we might wait a very long time. We're deliberate, intentional about some aspects of this program. They call writers recluses. It says they call us introverts. And I said to myself, we're going to have a red carpet. And we're going to shine. We're going to dazzle. And, because we deserve that as well. Because there is no story, a well-written story that does not have the DNA, the blood of a writer embedded into it. It's just like a mother who pours out a child, but there is no way that child can stand and say, I don't have the blood of my mother inside of me. And I think it's so undeserving to have, PR of movies, and you are looking in the fine prints for the name of the writer. Out there on the red carpet, we're intentional to put out the names of writers, and also, of course, the participants. In case you didn't notice and you just walked by the way, if you registered on time, your name should be right there on that red. Yes, thank you. So please do go take a picture with it. But it's intentional to say we want to be seen, and we have to take up this cause ourselves. This year, I'm so glad that we've had, different facilitators coming in to take master classes to empower writers, storytellers across Africa. We've had Dr. Meret Mandefro from the South Africa, right? Realness Institute. We've had my darling, father in the industry, Femi Odugbemi, come around. We've had people from, Michelle Bello, my darling coach as well. And this year for us, there was something that was burning in my heart, and that was, how do we take it further from just empowering and upskilling writers? What else can we do to validate this profession? I do know that there are people who still see screenwriting as just a hobby. And that's why when you introduce yourself and you say, I write, they're like, oh, that is good. So what do you do? And I began to think about it, and I said to myself, what if we have a symposium of all the screenwriting guilds, as many as we can lay our hands upon in Africa? I doubt it's been done ever. And it was quite tough, because some countries in Africa do not even have screenwriting guilds. Some who have in name are not active. But it was just my pride to see us bring together Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, and Nigeria to have a symposium on Tuesday to talk about how to push this industry forward, to come together and prove that we are truly a profession. And I asked in that symposium, I said to the writers, to the room, I said, how many of you have health benefits? How many of you have pension funds? Do you have any insurance? And nobody said that. We must, as a creative industry, begin to fight for the things. This is the legacy, really. It's enough of seeing older, creatives and veterans at 60 and 70 asking for medical aid online. It's sad, because there's nothing to put by anymore. Today, I'm pleased to say that we are bringing the Pensions Fund Operators Association of Nigeria to come speak with you and talk about how you can begin to lay something by for your older years. Yes, you can give a round of applause. Thank you. Yes. We are also working on, arrangements with, HMOs as well. This is the passion that we have for this industry. And it looks amazing because it feels like it's just me, but I do know that I come with an army of passionate people who believe in the same vision and dream. And I want to say thank you, first and foremost, to everyone who is seated here, that you made it this morning. Some of you have never met me before. You probably didn't even know my name before today. And that's the thing, that sometimes it's the people who are doing the making great impact. Sometimes they're not so loud, but we will try our best to be louder, right? Writers, we will try our best to speak out louder for ourselves as an industry. And I want to say thank you. Can I first start by saying thank you to Mama Joke Silva? Come on, guys. Wow. I mean, we still have a long speech. I'm going to keep it for that time so that I can save up on time. But it's amazing having you. I have my coach, my industry coach, Michelle Bello, in the house. Yes, she's right here. I've got amazing writers. We've got Dami Elebe in the house. If you didn't watch Far From Home, oh, why, oh. All right. All right.
let me start off with the history. Judith, hello. Judith Audu. How are you? I see you as well. Thank you so much for everything that you do within this industry. Now, all of us stand on incredible shoulders in the history of our film industry. First of all, I'll tell you a little bit about myself before I get back to my topic, so that you have it clear, because people tend to get it wrong, especially when they take my profile from social media. Yes, I am Joke Silva. I have been in this industry in front of the camera since 1981, which makes me practically 43 years in this industry. 42, 43. And in those years, it's been very rare for me not to be in front of the camera or on stage. So my core competence is acting. I'm an actor by profession. Then I set up the Lufodo group of companies with my husband, Olu Jacobs. And that was set up in about 1985, soon after around the time we were about to get married. You know, we set up the Lufodo group. And the Lufodo group consists of Lufodo Productions that produces drama content for the platforms of theater, camera, and radio, of course, now new media. And then we also have the Lufodo Academy of Performing Arts that's been around since the early 2000s. It actually started out with me teaching in various high net worth schools all over Lagos, having about 5 different teams that were teaching, teaching drama and speech in various schools around Lagos. We're talking about Corona schools, the Atlantic halls, and I'll just deviate a bit and say that one of my students from Atlantic Hall is now a big-time writer, producer, director, and that's Tosin Otudeko, who was the original writer of Wedding Party. She was my student. And then, like I said, just taught all over Lagos. Then, and now, Lufodo Academy of Performing Arts has just finished its first cohort of students for acting in camera, supported by Netflix, acting for the camera, and 3 months writing program, which Ololade headed. So that was our first ever partnership with Netflix. We do hope that the partnership continues. Now, what I'm very excited about is the fact that, and that dovetails into what I'm going to start talking about, is that I now, with my co-CEO, manage opposite Central Bank, and that in Umbuske, all the Lagos Island, that area, everything, anything you want in Nigeria, you will find in that area. So that's why our tagline, the home of arts, culture, heritage, and enterprise. And so it is that heritage area that I'm going to start from. The fact that we in our industry stand on some amazing shoulders, especially women. I'm going to take us through in the early 60s, one of the people who we will call one of the progenitors of directing in English, with female directors in English, a woman called Zulu Shofola. She was at the University of Ibadan. Zulu Shofola trained an amazing young girl called Lola Fani Kayode. Lola Fani Kayode was one of those early, Zulu Shofola was in the 60s. Lola Fani Kayode came she finished at the University of Ibadan and went over to America and studied film in America. And then by the time she came back, she joined with Cinecraft and started what is a TV program known as Mirror in the Sun. Now, why is Lola Fani Kayode very important in our history as filmmakers, as storytellers? Lola Fani Kayode wrote, produced, and directed Mirror in the Sun. Mirror in the Sun was a TV series that Lola discovered or brought to the fore the time belt of 8 to 9 as a popular time to show TV, to put a series on TV. Lola, it was, and because of that time belt, and there was only, at that time, there was only NTA, all right? And people used to rush home to watch Mirror in the Sun. The streets of Lagos were empty on Sunday between 8 o'clock and 9 because everybody was watching Mirror in the Sun. And the thing with Mirror in the Sun was that what it did, and what we still do, is that, and what it highlights about our work, is that fashion changed because of Mirror in the Sun. We started working more with Ankara, with local styles and local designers because of programs like Mirror in the Sun. And Lola Fani Kayode was not a wilting violet. She was not a wallflower. Because when NTA decided to take the program for her, she sued them. She took them to court. I can't remember if she won now. I'm not too sure, but it was a case of, this is my intellectual property. After several episodes, she did live in 1980. This was 1984 that she started Mirror, and Mirror came down, I think, in the late 80s, and then taken over by John Ndanusa. But Lola was a producer, was the writer, was the director of Mirror. Now, what's so important about a woman like Lola Fani Kayode is the fact that she then spawned people like Amaka Igwe and Bumi Oyeson. Amaka Igwe, you do remember, was the one who wrote, directed, produced Checkmate. Yes, with Ego Boyo and Richard Mofe Damijo. All right? She wrote, directed, and wrote and produced because I think it was Bolaji that directed Checkmate at the time. Sorry? Yes, Bolaji Daudu, yes. You know, so, but then so there was Amaka on one side, Amaka then went on to produce Rattlesnake, that has been reproduced now in recent times. She went on to produce Violated, and she worked, apart from working with Ego Boyo, and this is where collaboration our industry is about collaboration. It's important to collaborate. I'll come back to that later, because in this time of crisis that we're in as a nation, collaboration is key. It is key. Now, way back then, Amaka Igwe collaborated with Ego Boyo, who then went on after to produce a beautiful film called A Hotel Called Memory. How many people saw that? It's an art film. It was a passion project. A Hotel Called Memory. And there was another one, Something and the House of Ghosts, that relaunched Kate Henshaw's career in the film industry. You haven't seen those. Okay. I also mentioned that Lola's work then spawned two Amaka Igwe and another lady called Bumi Oyinsan. Bumi Oyinsan was the writer of Oruro Olojo, The Golden Cage, with Amatu Bride. Amatu Bride is late now, and the interesting story about Amatu Bride was one of these, went to an amazing secondary school, and left secondary school. I went to dance, became one of Fela's queens. She just wanted to dance. And so she left school and ran away to Fela's Shrine and became a dancer. After satisfying her urge to become a dancer, she then went back to school and became a professor of dance in the University of Port Harcourt. Yes. She's late now, but she was one of the lecturers of people like Hilda Dokubo. Like I said, Bumi Oyinsan was writer, producer of these works. Now, when we move from there, we then have the new women. Ego Boyo's other film was The Ghost and the House of Truth, the one that I said relaunched Kate Henshaw. Then fast forward, we then have people like Kemi Adetiba with King of Boys. Now, why is Kemi Adetiba so important? Kemi Adetiba is very important because of her work on King of Boys. Yes, she had done The Wedding Party with Moabudu. She was also one of the writers or rewriters of that film. But at that time, cinemas were only accepting comedy. If it wasn't comedy, if it wasn't slapstick, it wouldn't fly. And then Kemi came with this amazing King of Boys. And I keep every time I see her, I say, Kemi, you should have just left the length of your King of Boys and made it in 3 parts like they did The Godfather. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's the kind of film that it is. But what she did was to let the cinemas know that other genres outside of comedy could also be commercially viable. Then I would move from Kemi's King of Boys to another lady that I find extremely important in our journey, and that's Jade Oshiberu. Now, what Jade has been able to do over the years is she first of all started as in Giddy Up, as writer, producer, director of Giddy Up. And she was the one who started the web series. And after that, she started the web series with one of the banks. Let's give them advertisement. With one of them, they didn't pay. They should have paid for this. So, with one of the banks. And then went on, and that spawned, that when they saw the success of it, all other banks started producing, their own web series. You know, of course, what that does, more work for everybody. So for me, I find Jadi very important. But I also find Jadi very important again in the fact that she never shies away from controversy. Her work is very bright and colorful, but it doesn't shy away from controversy. Of course, we all know the story of Gangs of Lagos. Gangs of Lagos, one of my favorite films all time. I love it, love it, love it. Very controversial, but it also then says to us as writers, as storytellers, that or I shouldn't say it says to us as storytellers, there's nothing wrong with controversy. Controversy, good publicity, bad publicity is publicity. It's good for the film. More people got to watch it. More people were wondering, what's all the controversy about. But when the quality of work is good, there's nothing wrong with controversy. People were, I think, on Gangs of Lagos, one of the things I am going to say, though, is the fact that on Gangs of Lagos, and I will go to a film like Half of the Yellow Sun as well, because they both suffered from, from this controversy. Gangs of Lagos is an amazing film. A lot of times when we see the story of Lagos, we're seeing the story of Lagos from the lens of the wealthy, or, very rarely do we see it from its underbelly, all right? So, of course, that created a bit of furor. But is there anything wrong in looking at it from its underbelly? That's on one side. And then when we look at Chimamanda's Half of a Yellow Sun. I talk about Chimamanda's Half of a Yellow Sun, written by a woman, funded. The funding was raised by a tell the funny stories. The funny stories are very important. We need to exhale. We need to exhale. It's very important. But we do need to, face that. How do we tell our stories in such a way that it is unifying for the nation? How do we deal with things like our overpopulation? Whether we like it or not, Nigeria is overpopulated. How? How do we tell our stories in such a way that we encourage us to be aware of how we procreate so that we can develop my thinking. And then I also believe that as storytellers, it is our place to give hope to a nation that is finding it difficult to find hope anywhere. We're doing it with music. We're doing it in Nollywood. We are doing it. We're doing it in our film industry. We just need to do it a bit more, be more conscious of doing it. All right? And finally, so that we can have the interactive section, I believe that to progress at this time, it's going to be collaboration. Let's look at the model of Gangs of Lagos. Almost had 20 producers come together to make it happen. We are in a collaborative industry, but in this time that we're in, we need to even collaborate even more so that we can come out with a level of work that will continuously put us on the map. As storytellers, we're chroniclers of our people. It's a huge responsibility. Let's chronicle and chronicle responsibly. Let's chronicle to give hope, to let our people laugh, to let our people think, to let our people have a sense of purpose, to give our people that sense of nationhood. And I know we can do it. Thank you for listening.
She deserves a better round of applause. You can't do that sitting down. Voice like milk, taking us through memory lane, connecting the old and the new. Just such a seamless storytelling. In fact, she just displayed the power of storytelling in her keynote. She can go on and will never get tired. I know, please be seated. I will just give the children the longing to speak to you. So we'll have other sessions, panel sessions, where in-depth discussions will be carried out. But for the sake of time, we'll just give 2 questions, especially from our young students. If you have any question for a keynote speaker, let's take 1 or 2 before I invite Dami to speak on behalf of the She Writes 30. Quick one. Okay, please, can the ushers help take the microphone to them? You can stay there, just remain there.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Iyanula Luwakupe. My school is Lucasha College. I wanted to know how Joke Silva's career started.
Very simple. Do you have another question? No. Okay. Okay. All right. How my career started.
All right, so let's take the last one. Someone, how many hands?
everybody. My name is Shiburi and I come from Global International School. So, Joke Silva, can you please tell me how you compare the Nollywood of years back to the Nollywood of now, and how you handle both acting and your family life and your profession? Thank you.
Very good, insightful questions, and I will try to be short. I will be very short. First of all, how did I start in my profession? I'd always I'd always shown signs that I would be a performer, always had. And I was very, very lucky with my parents. My late dad, Chief Emmanuel Afolabi Silva, who died as, Bobajiro of Lagos. He was a lawyer, and he retired as the director of UAC. And my late mom, Dr. Mrs. Abimbola Silva, who was one of the very first female doctors that we would have in Nigeria. So those are my parents, and then this child comes along and says she wants to act. And my father then said, okay, when I came back after doing, doing my A that you can have what you want, but you can't have it all of the time. And just work out, just know, is it the children that need attention now? Give the children attention. Is it your business? Give you, and then it could be your significant other. Give that person attention. Oh, very important. They are very important to your mental health. As the Gen Zs will say. All right. Thank you ever so much. All the best in all your endeavors. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ma'am. Before you go, just, what better way to celebrate International Women's? Let me steal a pose with the veteran. She deserves a round of applause. Please, until she sits down, please do her that honors. Thank you very much, ma'am. Having to bridge the gap between the old and the new, and she went on, taking us through. What was the first person? Let's know who those that were listening. The very first woman, what was her name? Zulu. And then she gave birth to, you deserve a prize. And now we're here today. You cannot, of course, jettison where we're coming from if you want to forge ahead, into the future. And she just told us that anything and everything is possible. For those that branched out of the usual, they are now making it big. So we can go on, and I'm sure some other panel sessions will deal with that and more. We're moving quickly, and this time around we'll be inviting Dami Elebe on behalf of the She Writes 30 to say a word on behalf of the entire amazing 30 young women that we'll be acknowledging today. After that, we'll move on to the first set of awards. We'll still have our screen, the second screen, the film to be screened, and that is when you start off with your voting. So please be patient with us. Like I said, we're going to ensure that we finish within the stipulated time. So help us God. Amen. So please give it up for Dami as she comes. A round of applause for her, please. Thank you. Want to stay here? Yeah, sure. Yeah, this way.
Hi, good morning. I get nervous speaking even though I like talking, so bear with me. You didn't like boo me. There were some people that were doing, yes, girl. Miss Chanel was coming back. Please stop. Too much. Woo. That's why I'm a pink boo. Hi, good morning. How's everybody doing? Hope you're well. Thank you guys for coming. I just said this is not to be a host, It's not what I do. This was tough. So, but
what in your head starts moving.
Yes.
They don't think later.
Yes.
You just said yes to walk. They are already working on it. Which is why you should probably try and advise meditation with me.
Yes.
They're sleeping. They're thinking of you. They're waking up. If you enter bus and somebody matches your leg, you consider it towards that meaning that somebody told you about. Because you're thinking of it, you're not going to now when you do accept it, just so it's going to happen, you need to go for
everything that makes your lead character move. You're going to sit down and create things. You're going to figure out how old this person is. You're going to figure out what color of hair, what kind of dress she's going to wear. You're going to have to figure out, is she religious? Is she this? Did she go to school? You're going to have to figure out how this person talks. Is the person going to say words like flabbergasted instead of surprised? You're going to figure out different things about this character that never gets on a script that people read. And in the process of that, they're only going to want to pay you for scripting. So to my writers, we have to band it together to also make sure, because I know people will say, oh, it's not about the money. Yeah, you can't use exposure to buy food. It's so important, and I'm saying this to producers too, when you get writers, it's very important to make them comfortable because creativity takes a lot of energy. I know people look at me and say, ah, she's a fussy bonbon, but if I think about things too much, I get hungry. I know writers who have chocolates in their bag because, you know, it's just, they need it. So even you, I say this to writers, don't price yourself too short because we are the least paid people usually on sets. Don't price yourself too short. You charge them for your thoughts. You charge them for what you write. You make sure that you're professional enough. You need to take your own profession serious. If not, they'll always think it's a hobby. I paid for a website. I paid for personalized email. I tell people my management will deal with it. I don't discuss money because if you push me too much, I want to do it for free. Oh, I love this story. Oh, please now, let me just do it like this. Meanwhile, I'm hungry. Oh. You have to take your own career serious. If not, everybody's going to think you're a hobby. Everyone is going to think you're the joke. And if you don't show that, if you don't, look, you don't have to have manager. Have email that says management of so and so. You type it yourself from management. Is anybody going to beat you? No. Are they going to come to your house to see you typing from management? No, they're not. Oh, can I talk to your manager? You can email my management. They'll respond to your message. You need to take yourself serious. You need to get a rate card. You need to put your rate card and say story development. To be a hobby. We're always going to have not all the time because I still get harassed by, you know, my fiance is in front here and he still harasses me. I don't make enough noise. Yeah, because every time he's the one that goes out to say, oh, this is Dami, she has a Netflix show. Important. And it's so important to just the wheel that moves. And I'll put it this way. They'll tell you that, you don't need, or let me do it this way, or like God has done for your body. An appendix is something people live without. But you have it regardless because it does something. And I recently learned from my friend that is a doctor that liver is the only thing that regenerates on its own. But then, if there's a liver cancer situation, it's one of the hardest things to find because the liver just keeps working. Every single part of the industry is important. But the only people that can showcase how important it is are the people who are in it. And I'm very partial to writers. And writers, I'll tell you something, you are the best people to be directors as well. Because you're the ones who see first. You're the ones who are able to tell a DOP, this is the shot. So make sure that you understand that you are important. And thank you so much, Ololade, for making sure that writers are honored, because it's very important for that. And I'll just put out there, one of the reasons I say this a lot is because as a big-time writer, I've only won one award in my entire life. And the one award I won was Eloy in 2018, and that was the last time the category was put up, and I think it was the first as well. So that just showcases how much writers need the honor that we sorely deserve. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a nice event.
Please let's appreciate Dami. And maybe this time around we should take a cue from Charles Okocha. I deserve some accolade, I pay my dues. And that brings us to the question I asked when I started. Who takes the crown? I mean, who's the most important person in that chain? And some people were, shouting. I mean, is it getting clearer now? Don't worry, let's keep shaking the table. But again, we know we have quite a lot of people that deserve their flowers, and thanks to Ololade for bringing this initiative together. Let us recognize writers and, of course, give them the accolades they so deserve. Thank you very much, Dami, for speaking on behalf of the 30 amazing young women that will be acknowledged today. And thank you. Now I know who wrote, what's that name again? Far From Home. Yes, thank you. Now I know. All right, at this point, we're going to be moving quickly to a Life Achievement Award. So please, can the technical guys cue us in? And before, yes, the technical guys, please, let's have the testimonial video, and then I'll invite a very special guest that'll be doing us the honors for this session. All right, so while we're waiting for the technical guys to cue that in, please permit me permit me to please invite most respectfully to the podium to do us the honors of presenting this award. A veteran writer, filmmaker, and TV member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences in the United States. He is a fellow of the National Association of Nigerian Theatre Arts Practitioners, NANTAP. He has previously been a 3-time head judge of the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards, AMVCA 2012 to 2014, head of jury of the Ugandan Film Festival 2014 to 2016, juror for the British Council Shakespeare Lives Project 2016, juror for the Emmy Awards in New York, and many others. He is a co-founder and executive director of the popular I Represent International Documentary Film Festival, Lagos, and a former president of the Independent Producers Association of Nigeria, ITPAN 2002 to 2006. His creative works in film celebrates the rich diversity of the African experience. He is one of the founding producers of the popular Mnet daily soap opera Tinsel. Currently, he is the executive producer of the popular TV series Battleground, which airs on DSTV channels across sub-Saharan Africa. His feature film credits include Morocco 2006, Giddy Blues 2016, The Eve 2017, Fourth Estate 2017, and many documentaries. His work has been selected for international screenings at festivals in New York, United Kingdom, Uganda, Ghana, Paris, and Germany. He has featured as a speaker and contributor in several international film, art, culture conferences, and served on many international juries, including the Emmy Awards in New York in November 2013. He received the prestigious Excellence Award of the Society of the Performing Arts of Nigeria, SPAN. He received in the same month the Distinguished Leadership Award of Nollywood's at 20 years and was recently appointed the Academy Director, West Africa, for the Multi-Choice Talent Factory. I can go on and on. Please, ladies and a few gentlemen here with us, please do join me after this video to welcome the very veteran that will be doing justice to this part of the event. Please take a listen. Just a second there.
For people, fighting for causes, giving of yourself, being humble whilst at it.
From the top.
My mama, my dearest Mama Jane. Oh, what a pleasure it's been to have you. What a pleasure it's been to see you share and give of yourself, not just to me, but to a generation of actors and filmmakers and performers and artists. You have been so amazing, sharing your journey, being open, fighting for people, fighting for causes, giving of yourself, being humble whilst at it. You are indeed amazing. You are a gift to our industry, to this continent. You are a gift to me, of course, you know that. And you're a gift to anyone that has the opportunity of just coming in contact with you. And so I join everyone to honor you, to celebrate you, to give you your flowers, because you can't have enough of them. I know you get this often, but you can't have enough of them. You are deserving of every accolade. And Mama, please be proud. Be proud of yourself. You have done so well. We are so grateful for you. We are so blessed to have you. So blessed to have experienced you, to have experienced your talent. And I know that even at this stage of your life, there's still so much more to come. I'm very proud of you, even though I'm younger than you. I'm very proud of you. I love you. I celebrate you. And I just say, keep going, Mama. Keep going. Keep going. God bless you.
God bless you. All right, at this point,
hello. Lights back on. Lights
all right, so at this point, please join me to make welcome to the stage to present the Lifetime Achievement Award, none other than the veteran Femi Odugbemi, writer, filmmaker, and TV content producer.
What am I supposed to do? Present the award. Okay. please do keep this applause going. I think she's earned it. It's the least we can do today. This is a really, really important moment. And I think we need to understand why. Idea of life. Just for you guys that don't know, I think it was yesterday, she received the award, an award at the Leeds City University. I'm going to say some things, okay? I'm just going to go ahead. Joke and I have been friends like 20 years, maybe 25. And the truth of the matter is, in this industry, I don't have many friends, consciously and deliberately. But when we talk about why is Joke what she is, because I don't think most of us understand everything that Joke Silva is. More than anything else, she's an incredible gift to this country, not just to our industry, to this country, to Africa. You need to understand this woman standing and what is behind her. She's been honored everywhere, in the UK, in the US. What we're doing today is just saying to her that the little that we can do, we recognize, we see you, we thank you, we appreciate you, and it's so right on this day, because, you know, to every woman here, I would say, you know, happy International Women's Day. And that's important to me because all my own heroes from my mother upwards are female. But my best friends are also female. And the reason I am friends with Joke is because of her vision. The things that she sees before all of us even begin to decipher what it is. To you. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. I want you guys to note something. Every important thing happening in this industry in the last 10 to 15 to 20 years have been led by women. Think about it. Every important thing that's happened in our industry has been led by women. And the one woman that all these women go to, guess what's her name? Joke Silva. Career that has left an indelible mark on Nollywood and African cinema at large, and for your exceptional leadership in bringing the Nigerian entertainment industry to the forefront of global recognition. Congratulations.
Okay. This picture was intentional because when I saw this picture, it evoked in me the memory of my late mom. There's something about motherhood in its raw, pure form that I see when I look at this picture. And that is what we see in Yuma. I told you it was not a mistake, and maybe this is not for everybody, but I think it's good that I say it because I have just one request of you. I did remember talking to you on the phone and saying to you, I'd seen a vision. Sorry, if you don't roll like that, it's okay. But I'd seen a vision of you laying hands and praying over me, and I didn't think it was just a personal thing. I think it was also symbolic of the role that you play in the industry across generations, which was why we gave you that topic. And so I hope that today, just before you leave, we have intentionally brought teenagers here, secondary school students. We have different ages across in this room. And we want you to stand, just as I saw in that vision, to bless us. Thank you so much, Ma. We really, truly love you. Thank you.
Wow. Can they come now? Let's do the prayers now. But whilst we are waiting for them, let me say thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you for the way you put it together. You know, there's some awards that they give you. You accept it, and when you go, you open the trunk and you throw it inside. Because, do you understand? But this one, it could only have been given by a writer. The way, the thought behind it, the people you brought together to make it happen. Lala of the Make It Happen Productions. She's the one who organized that picture. She actually, dressed me. She styled me for this picture. My friend, my ore, we fight like no man's business. But it wouldn't have meant as much if he wasn't the one who presented it. Femi, thank you. You know me in ways that most people don't, and I appreciate it. I really do. He has a way of articulating things that I don't know how to articulate, I just do. But he articulates it and gives it a gravitas that I don't even know that I have. And thank you so much, Ololade. The words that have been penned here are just so, I don't know how to say it, but thank you. Thank you. It takes, like our last speaker, remind me of her name. Dami, I thought Dami, but I didn't want to get it wrong. You're absolutely right. The foundation is always the writers. It's always the writers. And it takes a really good writer to give a moment like this the kind of gravitas that should go with it. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. Thank you. Thank you. And so to all the children who are here who want to become writers as well, who want to become, you want to become writers, but I'll just make it storytellers. Because you may start out as writers and be into other things. There are a lot of people who start out as something, they want to be actors and then they end up being something else. But at the end of the day, they're all storytellers. Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we just thank you. You are the master storyteller. You tell stories in ways we cannot even begin to fathom. And the way you tell your stories, we're still reading them. We're still learning from them. Eternal King of glory, eternal Lord of lords, you said that let the little children come to me. Do not try to stop them. These little ones have come before you, eternal Lord, to give back to you the gift that you have given them. Father, Lord, I say and ask, and I also decree that their minds are open, our Father and our Lord, to receive all that you shall pour into them, Father and our Lord. You give them hearts that are fertile, minds that are fertile, ears that are tuned to you and hear you and help, they hear you as you tell them the kind of stories that you want told for your kingdom. They will write the kind of stories that will bring people into your kingdom, my Father and my Lord. You will give them that kind of articulation that can only come from the throne of grace, my Father and my God. They will have that, and the gems. The gems, these are the gems, these are the jewels in the crown, my Father and my God. And as you download to them and as they receive with that fertility, they will reproduce not only 30, not only 60, 100-fold. In the mighty name of the most precious of them all. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Mom. I want to capture a picture with you. Okay. A picture of a lifetime. You're going to enlarge this